What happens when one of television's smartest minds comes face to face with one of fiction's most dangerous criminals? Can Patrick Jane actually outsmart the Joker? Honestly, I think he can, and not just barely. I think Patrick Jane takes this more often than people expect. Now, before anyone says it's the Joker, he is too unpredictable. Hear me out. People always focus on Joker's chaos, the random crimes, the mind games, the fact that nobody ever knows what he'll do next. But Patrick Jane was built for exactly this kind of opponent. Because Jane does not need someone to be predictable in action. He only needs them to be predictable in psychology. And every person, no matter how insane they seem, has a pattern. And that's what makes Jane so dangerous. Throughout The Mentalist, Patrick Jane consistently outsmarts killers, manipulators, serial offenders, and criminal masterminds by doing one thing better than almost anyone: understanding why people act the way they do. He notices small details that everyone else misses: a pause before answering, a shift in body language, a look in the eyes, or a choice of words. He doesn't just observe behavior, he studies the mind behind it. And once Jane understands the persons, the game usually starts turning in his favor. That's why I actually think the Joker's chaos helps Jane more than it hurts him. Because the Joker is not truly random. He wants people to think he is. There's a difference. Every major Joker plan usually serves a purpose. Sometimes it's to prove that morality is fragile. Sometimes it's to break a symbol like Batman. Sometimes it's to prove he is the smartest man in the room. And that right there is where Patrick Jane gets his advantage. The Joker has a massive ego. He needs to prove a point. He needs recognition. He wants his opponent to understand how clever he is. Jane has beaten people like this before, like Red John. Criminals who think they are untouchable, people who cannot resist showing off. That need for superiority is exactly the kind of weakness that Patrick Jane exploits. He is a master at baiting people. He can make someone feel like they're winning while slowly leading them into a trap. Imagine Jane deliberately insulting Joker's intelligence, not directly, but indirectly. Something like, "Is that really your best trick? I expected something more original." That would get under Joker's skin instantly, because Joker hates being underestimated. The moment Joker starts reacting emotionally instead of strategically, Jane gains control. And this is where Jane's biggest feat comes in. He doesn't need to overpower Joker physically. He doesn't need gadgets. He doesn't need preparation on Batman's level. He only needs time. Given enough time, Jane would start identifying the Joker's motive behind his actions, not the crimes themselves, the message. What message is the Joker trying to convey? Who is he trying to break? What emotional reaction is he trying to create? Once Jane figures out that, he can predict the next move, not because he knows the exact action, but because he understands the intention. That's smarter. A lot of people confuse unpredictability with intelligence. They are not the same thing. The Joker is unpredictable. Patrick Jane is analytical. And in a battle of minds, analysis usually beats chaos over time. Now, to be fair, Joker absolutely has strengths here. He is brilliant in psychological warfare. He knows how to manipulate fear, and he knows how to pressure people. He can create situations that can force emotional mistakes. If this was a sudden face-to-face confrontation with no preparation, Joker could definitely make things difficult. But even then, Patrick Jane's calmness gives him a huge edge. One of Jane's greatest traits is composure. He stays relaxed, he keeps talking, he makes the other person feel like they are in control. Meanwhile, he's studying every micro reaction. That's pretty terrifying and crazy. Because while Joker is trying to intimidate him, Jane is already building a profile in his head. He'd quickly realize something important. Joker's chaos still revolves around attention and control. He wants the spotlight, he wants the reaction, he wants the opponent emotionally involved. Patrick Jane is one of the hardest people in fiction to emotionally shake in a mental battle. Instead of panicking, he'd use Joker's need for attention against him. The more Joker talks, the more Jane learns. The more Joker performs, the more he reveals. And eventually, Jane turns that into a trap. And that's exactly how he wins most of his battles. So, can Patrick Jane outsmart the Joker? Yes, I think he can. More often than not, I think he does. Not because Joker isn't brilliant. He absolutely is. But Patrick Jane's intelligence is more precise. Joker creates chaos. Jane finds the logic hidden inside it. And once he finds that logic, Joker becomes beatable. Final verdict: Patrick Jane wins 7 out of 10 times. Joker definitely takes a few through unpredictability and pressure, but over the long run, Jane's psychological reading, manipulation skills, and ability to exploit ego gives him the higher chance. This is not chaos versus chaos. This is chaos versus the man who understands people better than almost anyone. And that's why I'm backing Patrick Jane. But what do you think about this? Who do you think wins this battle?